Hi, and welcome to this episode of the Mitchell Report. I'm your host, Roosevelt Mitchell III. Poet Sarah Holbrook, who often writes humorous verse for kids, has some harsh words for the Texas Education Agency after she discovered she could not answer questions about poems on its standardized test, poems she wrote herself. In an essay for the HuffPost, Holbrook wrote that she felt like such a dunce after she did not know the answer to the questions posed on the state of Texas assessments of academic readiness about her poems, A Real Case and Midnight, meant for 7th and 8th grade students. Holbrook wrote, "These test questions were just made up, and tragically, incomprehensibly, kids' futures and the evaluations of their teachers will be based on their ability to guess the so-called correct answer to these made-up questions." Holbrook highlighted a number of questions from the test, including one that asked students why she rendered one line in a poem in all capital letters. Students are asked to choose between 4-letter options. Holbrook argues that asking students to dissect poems is not an effective way to teach them about the joys of literature. Holbrook wrote that asking students to guess an author's intent in writing a piece of literature is doomed to be a pointless exercise. And me, as an author and as an educator, I understand exactly where Holbrook is coming from, because I have had to administer state assessments and monitor them. And I have looked over them, and some of those questions are, in fact, just made up. Now, as an author or a student, how do I know the intent of someone else's literary work, right? If someone gives me Maya Angelou's poem and says, what was her intention on writing this, and why did she dot this I and not this I over here, I have no clue. But yet, they make up those questions and give 4 answers, and kids have to guess the answer. I was just being facetious when I made that question up, so that's not an actual question on the test, I don't suppose. But kids are graded and judged on, as she said, questions that are just made up. And she is the author of this work, and she does not even know the answers. So what does that say for our children? And these state tests are making billions off of each state every year, billions of dollars, billions. And they're just making up questions. So I'd love to hear your thoughts about this, so please leave a comment in the section below.